1. Preface. Do you even need to use a real estate agent when buying new construction? Or should you just deal directly with the builder and their sales representative? These are common questions people who are considering buying new construction ask. If you Google it, you'll basically find two schools of thought. 1. People who say, nope, you don't need them. They just want to latch onto you and get a commission for basically doing nothing. These are usually people not in the real estate business and often ones who are predisposed to avoiding working with them if possible. 2. People who say you absolutely should because an agent is indispensable and you're going to get hurt and regret it if you don't. Surprise, surprise, it's almost always real estate agents saying this. But there's a third group of people who aren't real estate agents, who recommend using one when you buy new construction. These are usually people who've been through it and regret not using an agent independent of the builder. Here's a fourth unique point of view, mine. As an agent, I don't think there's an absolute answer to this. Some people, in some situations, are just fine working directly with the builder and their reps, without the help of their own real estate agent, and they get good results with little or no downside. But a lot of people find themselves making mistakes they don't even know they're making. These mistakes often begin the minute they see a sign or an ad for new construction, and they take a ride to just see the place. As an agent, I may be a bit biased, but I'll say this. You don't need an agent. You can certainly go it alone. Is it the right choice? Nope, not for most people in most situations. But you can, and you might be fine. But in my experience, many people regret it and wish they had hired their own agent. And they would have if only they were more informed from the beginning. Which is why I created this booklet, to help you think through for yourself whether or not you should use an agent when buying new construction. I've included tips and insights about dealing with builders that will be useful to you, no matter which way you decide to go, with an agent or without. Whichever way you decide to go, I hope you find this booklet thoughtful and useful. If at any point you have any questions about anything within this booklet, or even things we don't get into about buying new construction, feel free to reach out to me directly. 2. The pen is mighty. You've heard the saying, the pen is mightier than the sword, right? You can find out just how much mightier it is if you happen to casually go see a new construction house and decide to buy it. One of the first things a builder or their rep will ask you to do if you visit their development or model home is to sign in. It sounds fairly innocent, so many people sign in without thinking twice about doing so. The problem is, if you do have a real estate agent you're working with or want to choose one to work with down the road, you may have just made it close to impossible to have your own agent involved in the deal. A few strokes of ink from a pen could cause you a pretty big fight. By signing in, builders will often use that to cut out any real estate agent you may want involved from being involved in the transaction. You may not have even realized that's what you were causing by signing in. So, if you want your own agent involved, or at least want the option of having your own agent involved, here are a few tips. Always bring your agent with you for at least the first visit to a development, model home, or meeting with a builder. You may even want your agent present at all site visits and meetings. If for some reason you can't or didn't bring your agent with you on the first visit, make it known that you are in fact working with an agent, and write your agent's name and information when you sign in. Make sure that will satisfy their policies. If it doesn't, refuse to sign in and come back another time with your agent. If you don't already have an agent you're working with, make note that you reserve the right to use one in the future. Also make sure that this will be honored by the builder. If not, don't sign in. Instead, find an agent you want to work with and go back at a later date. If you absolutely positively don't want your own agent, independent of the builder, then by all means give them your John Hancock. But most people aren't that sure or adamant about not having their own agent. They just unknowingly sign off on it by simply signing in. 3. It's not that they lie. A lot of times, builders will make that sound like you'd be better off if you didn't involve your own real estate agent. They may also make it sound like you don't need to get a home inspection. After all, it's new construction. What could be wrong with a new house? And they may have a lender they say you should use because it'll be better and or easier for you. Don't worry about the closing either, because they have a title company that will take care of everything. It isn't like they lie and say you can't or shouldn't have your own real estate agent, home inspector, lender, or title company. But it's certainly something they often imply. And it isn't unheard of for them to strongly imply that you'd be better off by just going with their recommendations and that it'll get you a better deal or make it easier for you. And even, possibly, they may make you feel like if you don't, it will hurt you in some way. It can be really subtle. But if you feel in any way like a builder you're dealing with is trying to sway you from choosing your own representatives, professionals, and services, then you might want to take a step back and wonder why. The reality is they can't dictate any of these things. Don't feel like you have to use any of their recommendations. And don't feel like you can't think and choose for yourself. 4. They don't represent you. One of the biggest reasons for having your own agent when buying a new construction house is to have yourself and your interests represented by someone who understands the purchasing process. A lot of people presume that the builder's rep, who may very well be a licensed agent, represents them. But the rep is almost always hired by and paid by the builder. He or she answers to the builder first and foremost. He or she may very well facilitate the process and get paperwork done, but is unlikely to be your true advocate. And if there's no rep and you're dealing with a builder directly, he or she is hardly in the best position to look out for you and your needs. That's a real estate agent's job, to look out for their clients' best interests. Too many people tend to see an agent's job as just finding them a house, filling out a contract, and then just waiting around for closing day to go pick up their commission check. Sure, there are some agents in the business that fit that description, but a reputable agent is your fiduciary, someone you entrust to look out for your best interests beyond just showing you houses and pushing some paperwork around. So for instance, if a builder is pushing you to use their lender title company, or to skip a home inspection like we discussed in the last section, you have someone on your side to help you assess whether it's the right choice or not. 5. The light at the end of the tunnel vision. You can pretty much find any house for sale on your own nowadays. The internet has made it not only possible to find most of the options you have, but to be able to pretty much see the inside of any home that interests you without even going to the house. Information is readily and easily available. What isn't necessarily easy for everyone is to know how to analyze and assess all of the options and the market data. It's easy for people to fall in love with a house. That's the fairy tale, right? People feel like they'll know the one the minute they see it. The problem with that is they can end up having tunnel vision and ignore other great options or market data that would help them get a better deal on the house. If you fall in love with a new construction house and the only professional you have to turn to is the builder or their sales representative, you can be pretty certain they won't be offering up alternative houses on the market, which you might want to consider. And they probably aren't going to help you analyze whether the house they are selling is the best deal you can get. Having your own real estate agent will help you avoid tunnel vision. He or she will show you other options beyond what a particular builder has available in a development. Perhaps a builder and development is perfect for you. Your agent can then help you assess which lot, model, and options you should choose in order to get the best value you can, while keeping future resale value in mind. An on-site rep may very well be able to help you choose a lot, model, and finishes, but the rep probably also has a bit of tunnel vision. Most reps are focused entirely on the development and builder they represent. They may be out of touch with the market as a whole or not even experienced beyond just selling new construction. New construction or a particular development you have in mind may in fact be your best option, but there may be other options that are better choices and better values. Having an agent who's not tethered to one particular development will help ensure you don't miss seeing something that was not right in front of your eyes. 6. They expect to pay an agent. One of the biggest reasons buyers feel compelled to not have their own real estate agent is because they feel they'll get a better deal from the builder if they don't. After all, if the builder doesn't have to pay a commission, then they should be willing to give the buyer a better deal. But most builders have built the cost of paying a buyer's agent a commission into their projected costs and expected profits. Also, builders don't tend to sell a house for less than their asking price. Unless, of course, they were way off the mark on their price to begin with and have to reduce it in order to sell. They want to maintain the value of all future sales in the development, so they're not likely to reduce the sales price by the amount of commission they saved by a buyer not having a real estate agent. If you don't have your own agent, the chances are that the builder or the builder's agent will keep the money saved by you not having a buyer's agent involved. That doesn't mean they won't make you feel like you're getting a better deal, though. 7. Maybe they'll throw in. Negotiating a better deal isn't all about price. While most builders won't agree to negotiate and reduce the price of a house if you don't have a real estate agent involved, if they're asked to do that, they may offer to throw in some upgrades or other bonuses. Again, these are things most builders have already built into their projected costs and expected profits. It's a convenient way to address a buyer's request for a better deal if they don't have a real estate agent involved. But the chances are they were already ready and willing to throw those in anyway, if they were asked or pushed to do so. The trick is knowing what and how much you can ask for, and actually get it. People often feel they're savvy negotiators, and they can easily feel good about having gotten a deal if a builder throws in a few things. But that can be misleading. It's hard to truly know how much a builder would have agreed to, or even what they aren't agreeing to, so much as making it sound like you played hardball and they caved in. This is why it's a good idea to have an agent on your side who knows what to go after and how to get a builder to agree to it.